are part of something. A force bigger than all of us. Our distinct fingerprints collectively shaping and forever changing what makes UCONN, UCONN. Forever making our mark. Forever making UCONN a part of us.
Welcome back to everybody to EGFC. We are getting right into this, but for now, we got Mississippi State on the field up against the University of Connecticut, one of the biggest question marks we have so far in this season. But Mississippi State, not a question mark at all. Our current reigning champion, with many reasons why. They've got arguably one of the best Belmonts in the world on their team in the form of, who is that? Yosefu? I'm curious who we're starting out with. It's going to be Vibo? Question mark?
3, 2,
Yeah.
1, go!
Just start off. Ooh, okay.
Saka Luigi.
So we've got Saka Luigi and Mr. Man. Mr. Man, I think this is his first appearance this season, and opting for Sora. Last year, he was a huge factor on this team, but he was going ZSS instead, and Saka Luigi was one of the players for UConn that he actually was one of the few players that got a victory last week in his set. So starting off with some pretty heavy hitters on the roster so far.
And you see some good footsies right here, but for the most part going even with Mr. Man. Trying to pressure the shield with that neutral air, but in the end, it's not really enough when it feels like Saka Luigi is throwing out an option and then staying still and throwing out another one. And the lack of variation in spacing is giving Mr. Man the edge.
Yeah, unfortunate stock for Saka Luigi to lose there. I think he lost track of his jumps, but either way, Mr. Man will take that lead and playing very defensive here early on the second stock.
Yeah, for sure. As Luigi trying to fish for the kill now. Hard to read right there on the drift in, but it's not enough as Mr. Man snaps right to ledge. That's crucial right there to avoid the counter whatsoever. Don't want to deal with it. And one thing I immediately like about Saka Luigi's Sephiroth as well is their willingness to vary how they're trying to punish, but even throwing in these falling up airs, it hasn't been enough to find the kill yet. The double jump up, that could have been a kill right there, honestly.
It could have been massive, and Saka Luigi, I think you can tell he's kind of struggling here to find that next hit.
There's a dash tag eventually with the wing online. That'll be enough to take the stock. You get some good damage off of the freeze, though. I appreciate Saka Luigi's willingness to throw an aerial on shield and just run away. Make sure they don't know how to punish you completely, as this is still a very doable stock right now, as they've already got 39% on the board, but they lose one wing now.
Yeah, down a full stock here is Saka Luigi, and it feels like Mr. Man just, the openings that he gets are so much more valuable.
Yeah. They're so good at calling out the big options from Saka Luigi. With the Thunderaga, with, really a lot of uppies as well. Not leaning as heavily on the uppie as we saw from the Sora earlier, but that side B, that's a nice confirm off of the Fire Agra. A lot of this is new to me, and Mr. Man is showing a surprising amount of innovation so far on this character. Let's go for the falling up air, but not able to convert that Nair into anything more as a dash attack. That low percent, that close to center is not going to do much.
Ooh, good air dodge around that back air, just holding on to that air dodge for a long time, and that should take the stock, and it will. So one stock scenario here, not out of the question, but it's going to be very difficult, especially off the follow-up. No, he doesn't fall out of the ice in time.
Yeah, okay. Still technically doable, but based on how Mr. Man has been a little more consistent winning the neutral, Saka Luigi has to ascend to another level if they want to really find a way in. But that's not the safe pressure you were looking for. The Nair on shield has been one of their go-tos for a while now, and They had been good at timing it so they get it just as they land and then they can dash away. That time in the high pressure situation, just the tiniest bit of eagerness on the trigger, it was enough to really send him over the edge, Soy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, it felt like Mr. Man did a good job of controlling the pace of that matchup. And against the Sephiroth, that's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but just numerous openings. The way his utilization of side B and Thunder were, I mean, we just saw a Sora match moments ago, and it just felt like a completely different play style.
Yeah, honestly, between Sephiroth and Sora, completely different play styles from what we saw in the previous matchup between Iona and Fairfield. University of Connecticut did a good job of keeping that close, honestly. On this new character, Mr. Man really had so many options, and it didn't feel... Sometimes when a new character comes out and people pick him up, it feels like they're running in a new pair of shoes. It's just a little bit clunky. They're still doing just fine, but a little bit overcommittal at times, maybe tripping. That didn't really seem to be the case for Mr. Man, not that much. I didn't really see any flubs. It was more just University of Connecticut doing better in the neutral.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And if you think about the playstyles too, where Sora is this kind of floaty sword character, Mr. Man changing off of his Zero Suit Samus that had a lot of success last season, it feels very different, but it shows kind of his control and mastery as a player. The fact that he can opt for a different play style and still have that success, it really goes to show how deep Mississippi State's roster is. And Mr. Man too, I mean, one of these players that I think his adaptability mid-set is something that kind of defines him as a player. You know, he may not have that opening, right out of the gate, just style type of style on someone type of play. But as a set goes on, I feel like he gets stronger and stronger, picks up on more defensive options. So really, if you're Sakaluigi, you got to come out of the gate swinging here in round 2.
And I do think they're capable. They were going even for most of the trades. Mr. Man just had a little bit more momentum, and they converted it flawlessly. There was some good stuff right there. I liked how non-committal at times Sakaluigi was playing. Again, I called out the Nair's out shield, but constantly landing on top of Sora, when you know that up B out of shield is an option and a kill move, it can be a little tough. It's even a combo move, because at lower percents, you can do up B into side B. We'll see how Sakaluigi handles it going into the next stage. It's going to be Battlefield.
And I like this stage for Mr. Man because you saw in the last game that up B is pretty safe. He can get up to that top platform, but Mr. Man, I think, has used that up B very sparingly, so I'm interested to see how he plays around these platforms here.
Nice use of the anti-air up air right there as Mr. Man gets a solid lead for the moment, but they're off stage. But with that floaty double jump, off stage is Sora's home. Honestly, Sora puts Pikachu in question as the most comfortable character off stage, but Sephiroth's pretty comfortable as well, stalling with that forward air and using the one wing to jump right back up. Try to approach with an air, but able to just snap right to ledge off of that, but they can still get caught. There were so many hitboxes being thrown out by the Thunder Aggro, by the Fire Aggro, that the forward smash, it was just an afterthought.
Yes, so much option coverage there from Mr. Man along the ledge, and that is crazy how long he can stall out there for, and still threaten the ledge.
Oh, and the hitbox covering with side B right there. We saw Sakaluigi one time try to go for the counter at ledge against that side B, and there's a counter just on the side B in general. I want to see them all! Knowing that they are going to snap to ledge on the third one, timing that down there perfectly. Sakaluigi keeps themselves in this set.
Yeah, that was a huge down air too, and recognizing too that he's just gonna follow that stage, right, and use that stage as kind of a wall to guide him back to that ledge. and knowing that you're down there can clip below it. That's great recognition from Sakaluigi.
And Mr. Man playing very cautious. They know this one wing can blow up their stock in a second. And I like how nebulous Sakaluigi is keeping their approaches, using the double jump to mix it up, a la how deep he approaches constantly. But I love that falling there into the forward tilt, giving yourself stage advantage, but not able to hold it on through that advantage. Going to avoid the tech chase for the moment, though, until the platform is covered, enveloped by the up air.
Yeah, just great, I guess, spatial awareness from Sakaluigi right now. And Mr. Man off stage here. Great job stalling out, but Mr. Man's done a great job of finding his way out of these corners, and that up B nearly taking the stock.
All right. Let's get the falling back there. Not going to connect it. Luigi. Ooh. I saw that charge right there, and my heart skipped a beat. Mr. Man, they're going to continue their onslaught. Catch them with the up air. It's such a shockingly strong move with the sound effect accompanying it, you know? So it's just like the whop, and then you're dead.
Yeah, no, it doesn't sound like a very strong move, but that is a surprising amount of knockback that up air has. I like the idea to try and counter that up B, but it does not work out. And Sakaluigi now in the corner at 65. He's got his work cut out for him. See if he can at least get one more here on the board. It'd be a huge momentum boost for UCONN.
I love these falling up airs right now. They just disable an area of the stage for a little bit. As Uppy had a shield right there, not going to be enough to kill quite yet. As we're starting to get to the point where it comes into question, the bait right there. And that gives you, I mean, you want neutral right there. You got stage advantage. But the side beam, it just gets you out of dodge scot-free. And the nair into up smash. That nair is quickly becoming a terrifying tool. Popping you up into another nair, into a kill move, into an up B, whatever you want. Sora is creativity, imagination incarnate.
Yeah, that is a terrifying prospect. A huge stock for Mr. Man to take, getting 5 points on the board for Mississippi State rather than the possible 4 that could have been in question. You know, and that goes to show these players for Mississippi State, they are dangerous. And Mr. Man holding on to that stock, turning it all the way around there, that was huge.
100% Soy. And I really did enjoy, again, the creativity with this character. It is the curse of new characters where every new thing feels like a bit of creativity. And I know maybe in a week's time, a month's time, some of these setups will be commonplace. But for now, you've got to innovate because a lot of this stuff hasn't been labbed out yet. There is time to make the character your own. And with a character with surprising amounts of tools like Sora, they were supposed to be a simple character as opposed to all the more recent DLC characters. Sora really coming out in a big way in the hands of Mr. Man here.
Yeah, I really got to commend just, it felt like he really utilized every tool in Sora's kit very well. The only move I think he really didn't land or use was down air. I think that was the only move that I think we didn't see from Mr. Man, but everything else, it felt very clean. You know, it felt maybe experimental at times, but it was all very good in terms of pressure and making things difficult for Sakaluigi. Sakaluigi had some good answers at times, things like stalling on his ledge recovery, not using his, options like counter, you know, when he's pushed to the ledge, especially towards the end of that stock. But at the end of the day, Mr. Man, that conversion at the end was, you know, like you said, huge for him.
Yeah, magnificent. As Mississippi State, not unexpected that they're taking the early lead, but it wasn't expected how hard fought it was. We'll see if that is a streak that continues or if UConn will start to crumble against some of the more heavy hitters, as Mississippi State is going to be sending out MIA, which is, I believe, what they said, one of their guaranteed starters.
Yeah, MIA, formerly under the tag of Maze, and he is one of the, I believe he might be the captain of this team. If he's not, he's certainly one of the strongest players on this roster. Through 3 weeks of play, he has scored no less than 6 points in each of his matchups, and he hasn't even given up a stock, as I assume he's given them a hand over here. Okay, maybe a stage switch.
Yeah, that...
I was like, that's a bold move.
He hasn't even given up a stock yet, as he just throws himself off, leaping to his doom. I'm like, okay, Soy, I've heard the caster's curse, but not a caster's, like that was a caster's assassination right there. But, well, gonna be switching up the stage just a bit, but while we wait, Mario versus Shulk. This is an interesting one, because Shulk, one of the few characters in the game where getting hit is a bait at times. And Mario, like, Shulk can armor out and use the Monado arts out of hit stun. That's what makes him so powerful. He can get out of most multi-hits. Mario's moves are not even multi-hits. They're true combos for sure, but how true will they stay as the weight and properties of this character are constantly in flux? We'll see going into this.
Yeah, and Cozy Wrath was another one of these players for UConn that was able to find a win last week against Marquette. And Shulk is a character that I think has had a lot of success here in the EGF. You look at players like Knight from Siena and Baco from Quinnipiac who are clutching out these very close sets. And so I'm curious to see what Cozy Wrath brings to the table.
Definitely going to be playing more of a range game value of the Buster art now, but every single fireball hits like a truck when you have that online. I can be able to use the jump art right there. A lot of forward smashes in neutral that have so far gone unpunished, but once MIA catches onto that a little more, I feel like Cozy Wrath is going to be in for a world of hurt. Tries for the raw back air, out of the down throw, not going to connect, but going to miss the recovery, but back to it. Ledge here, not going to do it yet, but jump art online. No! I'm not really sure what happened there. They wanted to snap right to ledge, but their spacing was a tight bit off, and now they have to try and find this kill.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a misspace. I even think if he did the second hit of that up B, he either A, hits MIA or hits a shield, but he might have enough fade to get back to that ledge too. So a little bit of a unfortunate miscue from Cozy Wrath. And look at MIA, the quick damage he can get just off of one opening.
Yeah. 70% already. Running it forward with the forward tilt, it's an instant tech chase. The awareness right there to know what position you're putting your opponent in at all times. Tech chase on the platform, backslash to threaten the hitbox, but now you're up above Mario with Smash Art. That's a scary prospect, but they're able to get the grab, send them off stage. Boom! They went deep right there, but not quite far enough. As the Smash Art finally fades and you're off stage without a jump, this time I'm going to go for the 2-hit.
Playing very carefully. I mean, both these characters are at kill percent, and MIA, he knows that sword is so threatening on a character like Mario. Good back airs, though. His spacing is on point.
Yeah, they escape that down air scot-free, and they hold on to center stage. They want a bad option on shield right now, but they've used up that resource for the time being as they delay the recovery a little bit with that cape, which has Cozy Wrath committing to a place they really don't want to be, as just the run-in turnaround up smash. That'll find the kill. 3 stocks to 1 right now. They might hold on to their streak of always taking 6 points.
Well, 1 stock off the board for MIA, courtesy of Smash Art, and a little bit of an opening here for Cozy Wrath, but again, it feels like MIA, his defensive options, the way he's able to get out of these combos, and look at the string he's put together for himself here, nearly getting a kill, and the forward air lands as well.
The advantage state is crucial. It's what defines a good Mario player. Like, that's standard, as read the full hop off of there with the back air, and they were thinking about going deep, and they're like, oh wait, I took their jump. It's over. As Cozy Wrath descends to their doom, MIA, the quick 2 points on the board. Looking, I mean, their regular old dominant self.
Yeah, no, absolutely. MIA is one of the heaviest of hitters in this Mississippi State roster, and his Mario looks just impeccable. I mean, it is one of those things that MIA does such a good job of. Again, I said it about Mr. Man, but I feel the same way about MIA. As the set goes on, he starts to catch on to more and more habits. And it's just so terrifying on a character like Mario, where all they need is that one opening to get to such a high percentage. And Mario's got plenty of kill power. Things like the back air will kill eventually. That up smash is incredibly good. It's a terrifying prospect to go against.
100% soy. It's what makes Mario so threatening is there's always the potential that he will just kill you. But it's not very committal how he does it. I mean, all of his moves are some of the safest in the game. I think back air is one of the safest moves on... it's plus on hit. Mario is acting first if you space it correctly. But even though it's not plus on hit, it's also just so lagless that you can throw it out in the air and then still be in position to punish if you whiff it. Like, that is the issue. Mario, in the same way as Shulk, is an invitation in. It's an open door that at any point will slam shut on your foot and you're eating 60-70% to death.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Cozy Wrath, I mean, he knew he had his work cut out for him going into this match, but I think, honestly, losing that first stock, it kind of, I'll say it again, it's like taking the wind out of your sails. But you saw he had some good openings. Even though he lost that second stock, he was able to immediately answer right back. And if he just plays a little bit safer, doesn't eat that immediate, 60-ish% combo right off the bat, it's a much closer game than I think the scoreboard shows.
I agree, and they're gonna have the chance to run it back as we're just getting done the bans now. Looks like they might be going to Smashville, yeah. Ooh. Switch ups on both sides, all right. Picking up the speed just a little bit with the Wolf coming out from the side of MIA. Well, Cozy Wrath going for the Pyra/Mythra. All right, against a fast follower like Wolf, some huge potential for damage right here, but Wolf can definitely contest you in the ground game and in the air as long as he gets through Mythra's range.
Yeah, it's an interesting style of matchup too, and what I'm looking for too is the edge guard capabilities. These two characters, I feel like, could or at least have the potential to really beat up on each other in terms of ledge trapping and edge guarding. So we'll have to see as this match goes on how these players opt to play around the corners.
Banking on a read right now, going to the Pyra pretty early. At this point, stuff will start to kill, but still. Cozy Wrath banking it all right here, and MIA is happy to play the poke game as the backdoor at ledge. Is that going to kill? Against Pyra, surely not.
Yeah, pulled the trigger, I think, a little bit early on that side B. Wanted an aggressive option, thinking MIA would dash in, I believe, to try and get the punish on the landing. But Cozy Wrath losing his first stock here, and MIA playing it a little bit safer, too. Gets a quick 40% on the Cozy Wrath.
Just trying to throw out that down smash. It's going to be punished, though, as they are able to delay the recovery enough that they don't get caught out of forward tilt, but MIA still has them in disadvantage even for not hitting that 2-frame. Just look at it, constantly throwing them up. They don't even need Cozy Wrath off stage. They know they'd rather have them above them.
Okay, MIA, I think, got a little greedy there with that side B. Just a little bit of a miss space on it, and because of that, loses his stock for it. But he's able to answer back quickly, finds that back air, and now 2-1 here in stock count.
Okay. Oh. Just inviting a whiff punish, saying, come on, try and punish me. The shield's up. MIA will eventually get grabbed for their troubles back there off stage, but it's such low percent they're able to drift right back on. Turning around the photon edge at the last moment. Going to get some nice little chunks of damage, but still the solid stock lead means every one of these trades hurts so much mentally and physically.
I mean, 90% for Cozy Wrath. If he's going to keep this close, he's got to find a way to take the stock now. But that up smash is ill-advised. Surviving, though. Oh, not on that one. Ooh, great job by MIA, properly spacing that up tilt.
Yep. Just the tip of the claw is all you need. MIA, 6 points on the board. There you go. Picture of consistency right here. Never lets it get too close. As Mississippi State builds an 11-0 lead, University of Connecticut. They had to know this was coming. This is the giant. This is the cream of the crop, the tippity top. But I honestly wasn't expecting how well University of Connecticut does at times. Like, this isn't a shutout by any means, but Mississippi State did not come to play.
Yeah, no, a lot of these games are very close, but again, I think Mississippi State, they do a great job of, I talk about survivability a lot. Those high percent plays, or those plays right around 70%, where if you lose a neutral interaction, you could be at kill percent, or if you are at kill percent, just playing for your stock. That's something that I think you're seeing from Mr. Man and MIA, that they do very well. They play very carefully at these high percents, and it's something to really note as the year goes on. I mean, in that championship match for Mississippi State, we get to interview MIA after the game, and he said one of the huge things that he thinks gave Mississippi State the edge is that they have such a diverse pool of players. It's not only the number of characters and the type of characters that they play, but also the ways that they play them. And it's just very hard to try and counterpick this team and get a read on them when they're all so adaptable.
Yeah, speaking of huge rosters and adaptability, I'm honestly just amazed. Mississippi State gave us a roster of like what? Let me count the numbers. At least like 15 players. And they just keep announcing new people. Like, by the way, this person's coming in. So I'm not exactly sure who BG is from Mississippi State. I can't quite remember them from last year. However, even if they're new, they are still on Mississippi State. They still made the cut in whatever tryouts they held. So I'm curious to see how that's going to go.
Yeah, and I think they're going up against another newcomer for the side of UConn. Looks like Som 2001 is entering the lineup. So I think these are two new players to the EGF. But again, it's like you talked about, when you have these kind of new faces getting onto these rosters, it's not only a lot of pressure on them, but it's intriguing to see what they bring to the table. When you have 15 plus players, it feels like we talked about Mississippi State and a lot of these top tier teams having so many good players, so many heavy hitters. That to put in your seventh guy into the roster here along the line somewhere, it goes to show how tough it is to kind of break into that upper echelon of some of these programs.
100%. As we are, just getting in, making sure the bans are all done. Again, as always, I thank everyone watching for your patience as we make sure everything is all good before the game is set up. We'll be having a game for you in just a little bit more time as Mississippi State and University of Connecticut finish up their bans. You'll get to see a little more about these new players. BG, the Zero Suit Samus, against Som's Captain Falcon.
This is I'm always intrigued to see this type of matchup, because I always say ZSS is one of those characters that's really hard to track down, but I feel like Captain Falcon is one of those characters that can do it. They have the mobility and the raw kill power to just keep step for step with this character. And also, BG being a Zero Suit Samus, knowing that Mr. Man used to be a Zero Suit Samus main, I'm curious to see if any of Mr. Man's kind of tendencies kind of translate over here.
Yeah, the sort of mentor-student style of stuff. We'll get to see. We will definitely get to see. Meanwhile, the Captain Falcon, we keep bringing up a very explosive character, who is temptation at times. We talked to kids about it, how you just want to keep going for the downers. You want to be going for these huge hits, but that's not always optimal. And you want to be trying to stay optimal as much as you can, but mixing in a bit of unoptimal play is Captain Falcon's bread and butter. So we'll see how they manage to do that going into the game now, or not quite now, but soon enough. This matchup in particular, though, is just kind of crucial. I mean, it's the third match, and if they don't get some points on the board now, Mississippi State is probably going to take it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the most points you can earn out of a set is 8. And so say that this doesn't go UConn's way here, it would require nearly, perfect games from the next 2 players against Mississippi State. And I don't think that's ever happened. I don't think anyone's had a perfect set against Mississippi State in their season and partial season here in the EGF. So you need something on the board. You need some momentum here if you're Sum.
We'll see them try to establish that momentum going into the stage. It is, in fact, going to be Town and City. Looks like everything's all properly set up this time. Sum looking to fish for some sort of landing back air to start out, but every single time they whip, BG is there for the punish, but they get some nice damage right off the bat. Almost set up into that knee right there, but not able to connect the up B either.
Yeah, and good start here for Sum. That up smash is going to kill, though, catching BG jumping, so big early start here for UConn.
You read the roll in right there, but not quite getting the timing right. I expect next time we'll see BG hitting that correctly. Forward tilt out of shield. Won't be enough. Not overextending right there. Unaware of what moves are safe on hit at what percent and what are not. I'm liking this awareness from Sum as they actually hit BG under the stage. For forcing them to turn around that up, he hurts so much more as now you're able to get back on stage. Not going to get a tech situation on the platform, though.
Oh, that was a spicy read on the air dodge. Just the falling out of that hit and then landing the up smash. That was a huge play for Sum. Now up 2 stocks here, and PG on his last one.
Yeah. Well aware of what the Samus could do, but the smash out of shield not going to quite connect. Or kill, rather. But that will. Back air right there is good enough. But you catch the neutral air dodge with the side B. Sum clearly catching on to how BG likes to try and escape from combos.
Good spot dodge. That up smash not going to connect quite yet. And I feel like Sum a little bit more swinging for the fences here in terms of trying to find that one combo or that one opening to get BG to the kill percent. Does find that up B. Can't find the second one, though, towards the ledge. That could have been huge.
Yeah, landing B is just going to be the soft hit. As they go for the nair. Tech chase right here. They get the paralyzer, but they don't quite get the follow-up. They're reading something way different, Soy.
Yeah, absolutely. Ooh, that was a good roll out. So, BG was looking for that roll into the down smash. That's a great tether to sneak back. First time BG's used that to recover this game.
And I thought for a second BG was going off. But Sum, they had such a commanding lead, but now in the last second, BG has really come alive. Trying to get the tech chase with the Zair, but eventually the one mistake is going to be punished by the Falcon kick. Sum gets the 2 stock, but that last stock that BG pulled out, bad omen for the coming games. It's not going to be a shutout for University of Connecticut. They get those 2 points on the board, but I'm not sure the win's going to come out based on how BG was playing towards the end.
Yeah, it felt like Sum was a little kill hungry towards the end of that match. He just wanted to hit his opponent and find that kill percent, find that kill move. I do like his use of down B there. It feels like between the Raptor boost and the Falcon kick, it's just kind of like a neutral breaker. Like, okay, we're both kind of spacing around each other. Let me use a move that goes a little bit farther and see if I can find an opening off of that. And at higher percents, that Falcon Kick does have a lot of knockback and can secure stocks like you saw. But I think you're right. BG is really starting to catch on to some of these habits and it's starting to catch some of these overextensions by Samsung.
Yeah, so Samsung gonna have to be playing like they did in the very beginning when they were still trying to feel out how BG likes to move. Like, for example, I saw them do down throw up air and fast fall and wait for the option, then side B and continue the combo. Because that up air is not going to lead into anything true after that. You know that. So don't overcommit. Play the game that you want to play and don't get greedy. Like, don't get greedy is a universally applicable bit of advice. But right now in particular, it felt like they were fishing for the kill options. And sometimes you do have to do that. But I feel like there are safer ways to mix it up. BG was definitely demonstrating how.
Yeah, and think about, too, for Samsung, how many times he threw out that up B. I mean, it was key in a couple of moments, right? It got it broke through shield, I think, once or twice, but there were, I think it missed more often than it landed. So if he can, just not be trigger happy on those special moves, I think it will work a lot better for him. But like you said, BG, the pressure's on him to make a play here. He's down 1-0 in the set.
Yeah, and on PS2 right here, it's going to be landing as safe as they can, but some nice consistent damage right there. Not hitting the correct DI either in that brief moment. 32%, and Super Armor is going to give Samsung more mileage. Stomp, not going to connect the knee though.
That was huge too. The drift away from BG, just making the spacing a little trickier. Woo! That was a great back air to connect right behind her. Like, that tether snaps to ledge, and he just spaced around it perfectly and caught BG on the way in. Well done by Samsung.
Trap blocking with the up air too. Samsung, yeah. Turning up the heat once again and getting that early stock. Crucial right now. As trying to snap the ledge. Yeah, they avoid that down smash. Easy as can be. Now, BG is catching on to how Samsung likes to use these side Bs, blocking that one, and they catch them with the side B of their own, that range. So hard for Captain Falcon to contest if you're not throwing out that side B. Yet, side Bs are the name of the game. I've said it 3 times in the last second. It's combo starter and combo stuffer out for BG.
It also has a surprising amount of knockback on it, especially those later hits. And look how much pressure it applies, like you said. Samsung been kept to the corner here for what feels like the past 30-ish seconds.
But they're able to get off the ledge right now, and they still hold on to their stock. That's crucial. I mean, at this point, yeah, you saw them fishing for back air. Finally, side B will kill at 160. But it's the same story as Loser a couple of games or matches ago with only killing with up throw. You need to find a more consistent setup than that. Like, ZSS can win neutral over and over again, which we are seeing right here, but Samsung is demonstrating that even on a less neutral-based character, they're still able to get the edge a lot of the time, at least enough to keep it even.
Yes, the percents are just about even between these two. Now almost dead even, just 2% really separating them. That side B won't connect, and again, it feels like the neutral game has just pushed Samsung to the corner, and it's all about if Samsung can find a way out or not.
Double jump used, but teleporting behind you right there and going all the way out with that. The untechable right there. Not going to get to tech that one. BG doesn't quite get the down smash. They wanted it. They wanted it real bad, Soy.
Yeah, at 124, ZSS has the power to get some of these kills. Big follow-up, though. Samsung eats the down B, and the situation is reset.
I mean, Samsung is... BG, when they are feeling threatened, they are making sure Samsung can't get in. Like, DSS really is the I'm not touching you character. Like, it is it's so frustrating to try and get in, and you can see that coming out in SomSom's game plan, where they want to just rush it so bad, but Falcon, once you commit, it's so hard to get out, and TSS is like, no, I'm spacing, I'm not touching you, and because of that, it's one stock for one, and SomSom has fairly been able to win neutral, but with the super armor there, they're able to get a hit.
Yeah, now SomSom, he's got to play so carefully here. That's a good up B. I'm shocked neither of them threw out an aerial there. They both jumped on top of each other. The jabs come through for Mississippi State, but this is a dangerous place to be. In the corner, how does he make it back to stage? Good early down B.
Keep going off stage for these like punishes. Oh, the Falcon kick again. It's a reliable burst option. It's not safe. I should clarify that. But when you're in the scramble, when they're looking for every possible option, sometimes it's the last thing they are possibly thinking about. And because of that, University of Connecticut, UConn able to get a couple points on the board. Definitely a winnable game for them. I think Mississippi State, after that, they're going to be like, okay. We're not gonna be messing around anymore. But University of Connecticut, I don't know if that was messing around. BG put up a very good fight. SomSom just came out swinging really hard.
Yeah, and this is something that I think has kind of been the story of the season so far for at least these two rosters. Mississippi State, while they are 3-0, it's not as dominant as a performance as we saw last year. Last year, they were consistently winning games by massive numbers. Like we saw last week, they beat Seton Hall 7-27, a huge 20-point victory. That's kind of a lot here in the EGF. But through weeks 1 and 2, it was a lot closer. They had 18-11 in week 1, I believe, against Wichita State. The next week, it was still, only about somewhere in that 10 to 15 point differential range. And UConn is one of these teams that, while we only saw them last week against Marquette, a lot of the games were close. The final score of that match was 11-20. So one set here or there that was minimal points, if they turn that on its head and find a way to clutch that set out, it gets a whole lot closer. And so UConn, they're here to put up a fight. It's not going to be a cakewalk. They're not going to roll over. And Mississippi State, it feels like the question is, you've got those roughly the same 5 starters from last year, but the depth of this roster, how deep is it really? Can you have that 6th or 7th player stand up to the depth of someone else's roster? That's the question for the Bulldogs headed forward.
Yeah, and we need to mention that Mississippi State putting in their non-starter players is not sandbagging or anything. These players still made Mississippi State's team. They're just not the heavy hitters with the underlying 3 times. They still pack a punch, as we saw from BG making SomSom, who put on a very admirable performance, sweat a lot of times, relying on these just very, they were winning neutral, I would say, 70% of the time. But off of that 30, SomSom was able to win it in the end, just based on having a slightly stronger punish game,
No, absolutely. And that's partially, I think, too, part of the matchup, too. And you got to remember that when you have these newer players, this is a tough pressure format to play in, right? This might be some of their first times on stream. So it's very interesting to see, how players play under pressure here. As we get into set number 4, Gib versus Miso.
Gib going to be very dominant in the ground game with Squirtle's really fast tilts and combo starters, but the air is such a dominant space in Smash Ultimate, and Miso's controlling it flawlessly.
Yeah, off to a big early lead. And Gib is one of the players that last week for UConn, he went in first and could not find a victory here. But on a Pokemon Trainer, it feels like this is a very manageable matchup.
Yeah, landing there. You've got Squirtle off stage, but actually setting the up B above there, catching Miso off guard. It's not enough, though, as eventually you will be caught. On the Ivysaur now. because you do have them above you, but even I'm not sure even Ivysaur's up air can contest with Ike's air, Ike's forward air. So Gib going to have to be careful on how they try and juggle, or if they're going to switch off.
And Gib has thrown out a lot of these forward smashes, and I do like the move that it covers so much space, but Miso's done a good job of avoiding it, and look at the pressure he's put on. That's a hard swap to Charizard, and he's able to make it back. I don't think Miso was ready.
Yeah, and that up he had a shield with the super armor, but he's going to take the stock. One thing I love about Miso, though, is how well they're mixing in drift forward aerials with staying in place aerials. It makes you feel when they do an aerial in place that there is a safe space in front of them, and then they drift forward with another one, and suddenly you're eating so much damage.
Yeah, now Gib has a lot of work to do to try and cut into this lead on his last stock, 37. Make it more here as he eats another attack in. This is dangerous for Gib. That forward tilt. Does he have his jump left? Oh no, he lost the tether.
Okay, well,
remarkable.
That was all Gib all day. Let's be real. I like the ideas coming out at times. It looked like they had pretty clean movement. But once they got at a deficit, it felt like they just... Miso really wanted or Gib rather, just really wanted a forward smash. They wanted a smash attack. That's how they planned on killing. And it wasn't connecting, at least as well as you would hope, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that Ivysaur stock, right? That how many forward smashes did he throw out? Now, to be fair, he almost got, I think 2 of them, the first 2. He just kind of mistimed it, misspaced it. But either way, Miso, I don't want to say that Ike's game plan is linear, but it felt like Miso did just a very good job of knowing, okay, I know exactly what I want out of my follow-ups, right? It felt like the game plan was set in stone from the beginning for Miso, and it was just clean. It really was.
Yeah. As Miso looking to continue their dominance, running it back to Pokemon Stadium, and the immediate landing there. I mean, we didn't even get to talk about how good Miso's punishes are, but, I mean, like, combos aren't quite as free as they once were. They still kind of are, but just because something is free, you still got to reach out and grab it, and that's what Miso's doing.
Yeah, I mean, even utilizing things like in the last game, utilizing that up B to fight through use Ike's armor to fight through Charizard, like that's not the freest thing in the world, but it's something that Gib was just not ready for. That was a good Squirtle stock from Gib, though. I feel like Squirtle is kind of Gib's most proficient Pokemon through these first 2 games. This Ivysaur's got to put in work now.
And there it is with the smash attacks again. But I like that contest right there. Use the up air to kind of chase itself. Forward air, though, is going to take it in the end, but you got an invincible Charizard here. What you got to do with it? Runs in with the up smash. Going to go unpunished, but you're not going to get the kill either.
Good quick jabs there from Miso to get out of dodge there. And like jab, I don't believe it's the fastest in the world, but it's able to beat out Charizard.
Merit Ledge as well will get a stock. All right, Gib looking a lot more feasible here. But this Squirtle, I feel like the movement is not like, it's not the cleanest I've ever seen, but it's not bad. It just feels like Miso is so ready to deal with this Squirtle that Gib, I feel like Gib has not gotten more than a single hit on Squirtle.
Yeah, I said it looked like his most proficient because of the way that first stock was going, but ever since then, it feels like Miso has just gotten the read on it. And now, that was actually a huge forward tilt. Gib was going for the up smash, and Miso's forward tilt able to come out faster and beat him to the punch, and now Gib in a lot of trouble here.
You're trying to read some sort of air dodge, but then they give up on trying to read an air dodge, and they're like, I'm just going to hit you. And it's working. 83% on the board, and you've got Charizard on stage, but I love that air dodge right there as the mix-up. When you still have all your resources, you go for the air dodge, you're like, all right. Now you punishment. It's the Flare Blitz as well, but charging the up smash, yeah. The Curse of the Squirtle comes back once again. Going in with that side B, but before it hits the ground, still 100% punishable. Going to be caught by the forward smash, and that is a 2-0 from Mississippi State. Definitely winning this out. Not as easy as you would have thought it would be.
Yeah, no, there was... I think Gibb had his moments in that set where you could tell, like, the ideas were there, but the execution was not. You know, covering certain space was good, but you didn't really, disguise it at all. It's like showing your hand in poker, right? And so I feel like Miso was just able to take advantage of it. Great stuff to Miso throughout this set, though. I think, again, adaptability is a huge part of this team. And Miso showed, even though Squirtle can get all of that early damage on you, and Ivysaur's got a lot of kill power under his belt, he used all of Ike's utility very well. Things like the forward tilt beating the up smash, the up B out of shield, to cover all those options at ledge. You just clean up one or two things like losing that stock to Flare Blitz, that second stock, and Miso has a dominant performance here in set 4.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Miso, I mean, untouchable in the same sense that ZSS was, where it felt like with Squirtle really wanted to approach on the ground, but the way they used their landing hitboxes, the way they mixed up where they were landing, even with Ike's relatively low aerial drift, at least compared to the other top tiers, just made it so nebulous. And if you misspaced even by a platform's length, you were going to get punished. And as soon as you saw the landing nair come out, landing forward air, they were there with the follow-up. 40% off of every hit. And it adds up over time, as it's pretty easy to get that one hit with Ike.
Yeah, Ike is a very dangerous character. We've seen Ikes in this league have a lot of success. Think of AIV on Colorado and how good and consistent he has been. There was an Ike that used to be on Niagara, I believe it was Tin Can last season, who, even though Niagara didn't have a winning record, Tin Can was able to just mitigate a lot of points because of how consistent he could be with those follow-ups. So Ike is a character that I feel like is very kind of pivotal, right? You can either dominate a set or you can, I guess, let me rephrase. You can kind of turn things around on a dime with this character.
And so we are getting into our final set now. Let's see, again, sharing switches, so we don't know exactly who they are. That's Shrike versus CC Floss right here. Shrike, I think we saw them last year, right?
I don't have notes on Shrike, actually. So I think Shrike is new as well.
Well, either way, Sheik immediately evening up the percents you ate from Sora and trying to just remain elusive as they air dodge through that side B. Not going to be caught up in the vortex, but set straight up by the Thunder. It's not enough as running way forward to get that up smash right there. As CC Floss, they're doing a good job avoiding getting hit. Not always.
Ooh, a little bit of a whiff punish on that landing option. And I'm kind of curious to see, because I feel like these are two characters that they kind of need that one or two hits to kind of follow up into that kill move. So I'm curious to see how they kind of find that extra little hit to set themselves up.
Piece of that down air right there, but going low to avoid that Thunder. Shrike able to get the first stock off and going way high to avoid any sort of possible follow-up, knowing the Thunder wasn't even online as a threat. As they get this ledge trapping online, saying, "No, I want you to stay over there for the time being." Down tilt though, setting up into a combo forward air, but down air at a disadvantage is going to put Shrike at a bit of a deficit. Gotta escape back to stage scot-free though, as it feels like CC Plus really wants this up air. They want it so desperately. I've seen it so often.
Yeah, you can tell he's searching for it, but Shrike done a very good job. I like that up B option, and Sora isn't going to be, or excuse me, is going to be able to make it back, but look at the follow-ups, and that bouncing fish nearly connecting as well.
Yeah, untechable right there from that up B. The immediate counter too, you know Shrike likes to push those buttons. Now that they know that option is on the table, they know they gotta respect it. Forward smash as well. The CC Floss. Different style of Sora than what we saw before from Mr. Man, but not bad, not too shabby in the slightest.
These up Bs from Shrike, I think, are a little ambitious, but it is one of those moves that does a ton of work for Sheik, and I think Shrike went a little too far for that one.
Oh, I do like that runoff up B though, when you know they want to snap right to the ledge, or you know they're delaying off of it as well. Tries to get those Nair confirms, but not quite enough time to make that truly work, as Sheik is just going to constantly be having a hitbox out there. That time the counter not going to go quite in your favor. Misread on when Shrike wanted to approach, and that misread could mean Shrike has a way in. Yeah, that side B. Sheik definitely fast enough to punish that even when you are a full side B's length away. And bouncing fish all the way out. Shrike wanted that. They were hungry. And they went bouncing fishing for it, and they got it.
That was I'm in shock too, because that was all kind of that was mostly all kind of stray hits, right? That all started with catching a jump from it was the jump, and it got caught by the falling down air, like the spike hitbox of Sheik's down air, which is not a very consistent hitbox to land. It's only at I believe the start of that move. But either way, it was just hit after hit, and you know, I talk about the ability to go for edge guards, to land edge guards. I love that from Shrike. You know, just having the confidence. His spacing on the bouncing fish has been really good. He showed it through that first game, and he said, you know what? I can afford to go for this, and perfectly spaced it on that last hitbox.
It's a sliding scale, though, Soy. I mean, we saw, on one hand, the bouncing fish stealing away the stock on the last one, but on the other one, at one point they tried to challenge Sora's recovery, didn't space it perfectly right, and they got an untechable off of it. Like, it is not guaranteed that Sheik is going to be getting this edge guard, but it's definitely, I feel like it's better to go for it than to not, but you've got to keep mixing it up, because if they do instant up B constantly, then you've got some trouble.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a move, you know, if you take Sheik's bouncing fish versus that up B, it's going to lose to that up B. So you have to, like you said, mix it up. And we did see a little bit of a mix-up. I think the first stock was taken by the strong hit of back air. But again, that offstage play, it felt reliant on the specials. From Shrike, the down B and the up B used to kill, and those are good kill options. But you know, throwing that back air covers a lot of space. Throwing the neutral air covers a lot of options. Things like the needles we saw a little bit of, but it always comboed with the bouncing fish.
Yeah, in general, I like the Sora. I feel like a little overcommittal at times, especially with those side Bs. Not quite familiar with where you can cross up in space, and the awareness to drop shield and run and punish the side B. It's important. I'm interested to see how Miso will continue to convert that. Immediately run off back air, extending the combo 26%. Unfortunately, will open them up for even more cracks appearing as Shrike kind of turns on the heat.
CC Floss does have some answers to some of these overcommits by Shrike. Things like you see that down air and the I believe that's the jab that he can throw out in the air, and it stuffs out a lot of these committal options. But yeah, that was good from Shrike.
Roll behind and then run to center stage and grab. That was Shrike's option right there. But I guess they had a good option. idea of how CC Floss responds to the pressure of roll behind. Keep that in mind as Strike gets the forward tilt into up air, tries to get the extension, but the down air, you know enough not to challenge that one. Gonna be caught by the side B though. An exploding bomb gonna hurt.
And it's a couple times now that CC Floss has used that. Well, I was going to say he's used that down air to recover, but it doesn't matter. You dash back forward smash onto the Shrike running at you. So UConn up to a little bit of an early lead here in game 2.
Yeah, as able to get that back air. And now they try and finish the shield, but beautiful parry right there. On a chic fastball aerial, it's not always the easiest. Down air at a disadvantage again. It's a big hitbox right there. It's not even... It's a little slower than he, but the fact that it hits all around you too makes it really good in combos.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's that up B again. That's a couple times that Shrike has gone for that, and it's a decent coverage. Oh no! Speaking of coverage, Floss landing the Thunder.
It's like a ladder combo and a special right there. You see them bounce from cloud to cloud? I mean, that's rough. Just running into the shield right there. Strike has made CC Floss a little bit scared, but they are still down a stock. They need to get a hard punch now if they want to kind of end that deficit. Up B right there from behind, right as the counter was over to finish it off. Good stuff right now from Shrike. Continue the combo there. Bouncing fish, 48%. Is it enough though?
That was a huge conversion. That all started off a strong hit of back air at low percent. So good stuff to Shrike. Dipping real low for that play, but unable to find it.
Trying to catch a landing option right there, but the cross up, it's not enough. We keep saying it. And if you keep going back into the shield CC Floss, well, it's the same song and dance. Run forward, grab. Back air, send them off stage. And the up B once again. That explosion has been Shrike's bread and butter when it comes to finding kills. And it's going to get them the set win. Putting just a couple more points on the board for the University of Mississippi. Going to be important in those differentials later. But for now, Mississippi State getting a hard win over the University of Connecticut. UConn did a great job keeping it even for the majority of the time, but ultimately couldn't keep up with the onslaught that Mississippi State rolled out.
Yeah, no, and credit where credit's due. Shrike did a good job in that set, and it's like you said, the use of that not neutral B, up B was really clutch. But I felt like a lot of that game was kind of rinse repeat for Shrike. Right, he found his one opening, got the combo that he wanted, and then found a way to land those up Bs and take, I believe it took all three. No, it took the last two stocks. That first stock was really well done to land that strong hit of back air.
And Shrike actually bringing a lot to the table, considering that we just learned that they are actually one of the freshmen on the team. Very nice. Again, Mississippi State could afford to be selective when you already have a roster of such heavy hitters. So the fact that they picked up so many new people, I'm excited to see how this new roster grows, because you've got to keep feeding the scene. You can't just let the old guard handle everything, because eventually they'll move on, such is the nature of college. And we can ask them more about their mindset for picking these characters and others as we get to interview Miso from Mississippi State right after this quick break.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Hello, everybody. We are back in EGFC after Mississippi's win with Miso. How you doing, Miso?
Doing good. Doing good.
Hey, good to hear after that win. And I actually have, for our first question, a bit of curiosity about how you go about choosing who's going to go in, because Mississippi State has a massive roster. I think one of the biggest in the entire league. And you've obviously got your heavy hitters, your playoff players, but you don't use them all in the same week. So, like, how do you decide, like, which of your newer players that you're going to give a shot this week?
Honestly, it's just whoever wants to go first. You know, we're all eager to play, and you know we enjoy playing, and we don't really have an order. Just whoever wants to play. You know.
Yeah, makes sense. And hey, keeping it fast and loose, not a bad way to do it.
Yeah. Congrats on your victory this week. How did you feel? You, I believe, were the fourth set of this match. How do you feel about your performance this week?
I thought my first match was pretty good. It was pretty fast. The second one, I felt like he started catching on. I play Ike, so you know I just spammed Nair, but he got a little, he got the hang of that, and then I got hit by his flare blitz. I got really tilted by that, but other than that, I felt like I was able to grab a lot, you know, mix up a little bit, and just finish it there.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I feel that getting hit by the flare blitz hits close to my heart right there. But either way, well, hit close to your heart too. Just saying. But anyway, I do want to ask again about these new players. You've got a lot of new blood on Mississippi State. So is there anyone in particular that you think is going to be really underrated? Like, you want to gas them up? You're like, this person is secretly good. Like, I don't want you playing favorites out here, but anyone that you want to shout out that's new on Mississippi this year?
Okay, yeah. If you saw who just played earlier, that Sheik, his name is Shrike. Me and him actually just started playing Smash for MSU this year, so we're both pretty new. And I think, you know, he's a rising talent. BG is also pretty good. I think this is his first year. I'm also new to the Smash scene myself because I started playing like 8 months ago, you know. So I'm actually a League of Legends player. I don't know if that's relevant or not, but I just switched into the Smash scene. So I'll shout out Shrike, BG, yeah, and and myself, you know, because I'm new. So
yeah. Hey, well, you put on a really good performance. Good job, man.
Thank you.
As one of the new players to this roster, I mean, this is Mississippi State. You guys are the defending champs of the EGF. Do you feel any of that pressure to, you know, keep up the legacy of your program, or are you just kind of, you know, rolling with the punches?
I just go with the flow, you know. I gotta make sure I perform, and I hope my team performs, and you know, we'll lift each other up.
Yeah. Hey, man, that's really inspiring to hear, and I wish you luck. But I actually do have one final question. From high stakes to low stakes, because you did kind of pique my interest. So you said you came from League of Legends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really common criticism of Smash Ultimate is how many characters are, how many matchups there are in Smash Ultimate alone. Coming from League of Legends with, I'm not even going to try and name how many characters there are. How do you feel about that criticism?
Like matchup wise and like counters and stuff. Is that what
how
you
many
mean?
matchups there are in the game?
Oh yeah. Sometimes I feel like some matchups are unplayable, so that's why I actually play Lucina as well. So like I guess light characters like Fox or like Zero Suit, I have a really hard time because they're just in my face. So I like to play at a high pace. If you saw my Ike, I like to full send it. You know, I do play a little patient, but I don't camp or anything. So I like to play at a fast pace. I can't really do that against like characters like Fox because they're up in your face. So I like Lucina because she's a fast sword. Oh yeah, I only play swordies because I don't know. I guess they're just fun.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And I can't wait to see some of those secondaries come out. But for now, thank you so much for your time. And I wish you the best of luck in the rest of the season.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And for now, that is all for EGFC. But we'll be back with another game, a real heavy hitter, George Washington University versus the University of Colorado in just a couple minutes. So stick around for that.